Listen to me, Blake Lively. Tap out. Tap out. Call Uncle right now. Please take my advice. I don't feel like I am like Octagon side, UFC fight, and you're like, oh my gosh, is this guy's neck gonna get snapped? Please just tap out. Be done. Be done with this. Ref, please call Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds out. Just call this out. Because I'm telling you, they are not going to win this.
Parties and courts meeting for the first time in court today. It was about a 90-minute hearing. This isn't going to end well for you, Blake. Sorry.
In a world where sometimes people judge you before they give you a chance.
I'm just going to tell you, you're going to have to wait and see. It's coming up soon.
The lawyer also brought up the website that was put out this weekend, saying Blake's lawyer also complained about Justin Baldoni's new website dedicated to the case, telling the judge they think this is improper. Brian Friedman, his lawyer, defended this, saying that Blake's team is doing the same thing, citing the New York Times article where Blake first made her sexual harassment claims against Justin. He says the paper only gave Justin 12 hours of notice.
Y'all, let me tell you all about the absolute spectacle that unfolded in that courtroom, because this situation isn't going to end well for Blake Lively. In a world where snap judgments can make or break careers, you're going to have to wait and see what's coming next, because it's absolutely earth-shattering. The tension in that courtroom was palpable when Blake's legal team, looking increasingly uncomfortable, brought up the controversial website that emerged this weekend. They were practically pleading with the judge, insisting that Justin Bond's new digital platform dedicated to the case was completely improper and unprecedented. But Brian Friedman, Justin's brilliantly strategic lawyer, wasn't about to let that accusation slide. He masterfully countered their complaints, pointing out the glaring hypocrisy of their position by referencing Blake's own media strategy, specifically highlighting that explosive New York Times article where she first launched her sexual harassment allegations against Justin. The revelation that followed sent shockwaves through the courtroom.
Director Justin Baldoni is now suing his former co-star Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, seeking more than $400 million in damages, accusing them of defamation and extortion.
Justin's team had been given a mere 12 hours to respond before that devastating article went live. Just imagine that. 12 hours to defend yourself against allegations that could destroy your entire career. But here's where it gets absolutely incredible. It took just 90 minutes, a mere hour and a half, for Justin Baldoni to secure his first major victory in this high-stakes legal battle. And let me tell you, those 90 minutes were enough to leave Blake Lively and her legal team completely shattered, their confidence visibly crumbling before everyone's eyes. While this wasn't the final verdict, it was a monumental step in setting the tone for how this entire legal drama is about to unfold. The way things are developing...
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan.
Blake finds herself in increasingly treacherous waters. For those who haven't been following this scandalous saga, let me bring you up to speed on this Hollywood nightmare. Blake Lively didn't just file any ordinary lawsuit. She dropped a nuclear bomb in the form of a $250 million sexual harassment suit against Justin.
The judge chose to not impose the gag order on Justin Baldoni's attorney Brian Friedman today, but did threaten to move up the trial if the media press war continued.
But Justin, refusing to be painted as the villain in this story, came back with an even more explosive counterpunch. A staggering $400 million countersuit, accusing Blake of orchestrating an elaborate scheme of extortion and defamation. Now that they're finally facing off in court, this is shaping up to be one of the most explosive, scandal-ridden legal battles Hollywood has witnessed in decades. The atmosphere was electric when Brian Friedman, Justin's legal powerhouse, strode into that courtroom like a general preparing for battle. Every step, every gesture conveyed his absolute determination to emerge victorious. Blake's legal team's reaction was telling. They were visibly unsettled by his commanding presence. And who could blame them? This is the same formidable attorney who publicly declared his intention to sue Blake into complete oblivion, and his reputation for being ruthlessly effective precedes him.
Blake Lively's lawyer does not like Brian Friedman and says he's being way too chatty about this case to the public, giving them little wiggle room to respond in the court of the public opinion.
The way Friedman commanded that courtroom left no doubt that he meant every single word of that promise. His presence was so intimidating that Blake's lawyers, in what can only be described as a desperate move, attempted to secure a gag order against him. But the judge, seeing right through their tactics, wasn't about to entertain such a transparent attempt to silence the opposition. The judge's response was nothing short of devastating for Blake's team. In a moment of perfect clarity, he pointed out the obvious double standard at play. Blake's own lawyers had been just as vocal, if not more so, in the media. The attempt to silence Fredman was immediately recognized for what it was, a desperate ploy to control the narrative. Just like that, Justin's team secured another victory in their growing list of wins. But if you think that was the end of Blake's troubles, hold on to your seats because it gets even more dramatic. Blake's legal team, seemingly unable to read the room, continued their parade of complaints. They launched into an elaborate argument about Fredman's media presence, claiming his constant interviews and public statements were overwhelming their ability to maintain an effective defense. The desperation in their voices was unmistakable as they tried to paint themselves as victims of his media savvy.
His team launched a new website over the weekend, featuring an amended legal complaint and a 168-page timeline of events, including newly released text messages allegedly sent between the embattled stars of It Ends With Us, as well as Lively's husband, actor Ryan Reynolds. One alleged text from Reynolds to Baldoni expresses his excitement about It Ends With Us, writing, "This is gonna be incredible. I happen to adore you, Justin."
Their frustration was evident as they described how every time they attempted to formulate a response to one of Fredman's statements, he was already 3 steps ahead, dropping another bombshell that left them scrambling to keep up. Their inability to match his pace was becoming increasingly apparent, but the judge remained unmoved by their protests. Instead, he delivered another blow to Blake's team, affirming Fredman's right to continue discussing the case publicly. This marked yet another crushing defeat for Blake's side. But the real fireworks were yet to come.
His team launched a new website over the weekend, featuring an amended legal complaint and a 168-page timeline of events, including newly released text messages allegedly sent between the embattled stars of It Ends With Us, as well as Lively's husband, actor Ryan Reynolds. One alleged text from Reynolds to Baldoni expresses his excitement about It Ends With Us, writing, "This is gonna be incredible. I happen to adore you, Justin."
The courtroom nearly erupted when Blake's team discovered Justin Baldoni's latest strategic move. He wasn't just fighting this battle within the confines of the legal system, he was taking it directly to the court of public opinion. Blake's lawyers were absolutely beside themselves when they learned about Justin's comprehensive website dedicated to the case. This wasn't just any website, it was designed to be a complete repository of evidence, including footage, documentation, and every single detail of the ongoing lawsuit. Blake's legal team was quick to denounce this digital strategy as completely inappropriate and potentially prejudicial. But Fredman, ever the master strategist, turned this argument completely on its head. With surgical precision, he reminded everyone present that it was Blake Lively who had first chosen to wage this battle in the media spotlight. She had made the calculated decision to take her story to the New York Times, giving Justin's team an impossibly short window of just 12 hours to respond before the story went public. Before Justin could even begin to defend himself, his reputation was being systematically dismantled in the court of public opinion. Fredman's argument was irrefutable. If Blake could utilize the media to present her version of events, what possible justification could there be for denying Justin the same opportunity? The judge, clearly impressed by this logical reasoning, once again sided with Justin's team. But the most dramatic moment of the day was yet to come. In what can only be described as a stunning display of apprehension, Blake's lawyers actually attempted to convince the judge to allow her to select who would question her during the deposition. Their fear of facing Fredman was painfully obvious, but the judge, maintaining his pattern of clear-headed decisions, firmly rejected this unprecedented request. His ruling was crystal clear. Blake would not be granted the privilege of choosing her interrogator. The impact of this decision was immediately visible on the faces of Blake's legal team. Their expressions betrayed their deep concern because everyone in that courtroom understood the profound implications of this ruling. Fredman's reputation as a masterful deposition attorney is well earned, and Blake's obvious reluctance to face him speaks volumes about her position in this case. For those who might not be familiar with legal proceedings, a deposition is a crucial part of the discovery process, where someone must answer questions under oath and their responses become part of the official court record. There's no room for evasion, no opportunity for carefully crafted public relations statements. It's all about direct questions and honest answers. The fact that Blake's team has been working so desperately to shield her from this process raises serious questions about their confidence in their case. This brings us to a critical point that everyone's thinking about, but few are willing to voice openly. If Blake Lively is completely confident in the truth of her allegations, why is she exhibiting such obvious fear about facing Fredman in a deposition? Why is her legal team pulling out all the stops to prevent this face-to-face confrontation? If the allegations are substantiated, wouldn't she welcome the opportunity to present her evidence and testimony under oath? Instead, we're witnessing her legal team exhausting every possible avenue to keep her away from Fredman's questioning. The judge's patience with these delay tactics had clearly reached its limit, and he swiftly denied their request for special treatment. This marked yet another significant victory for Justin's team. As the hearing drew to a close, the scorecard was overwhelmingly one-sided. Justin and his legal team had emerged triumphant in virtually every single argument, while Blake's team was left reeling from one devastating defeat after another. But the judge wasn't finished delivering game-changing decisions. In a move that sent shockwaves through both legal teams, he announced that both lawsuits would be consolidated into a single case. This means we won't be witnessing a prolonged legal marathon. Instead, we're headed for an explosive winner-takes-all courtroom showdown. The date is set for March 2026, unless the parties somehow manage to reach a settlement before then. However, the prospects of this case actually reaching trial should be causing Blake's team serious concern. This isn't just about the legal arguments anymore. It's evolved into a full-scale battle for public opinion and professional reputation. Blake's carefully cultivated public image is starting to show significant cracks. Her fan base, once uniformly supportive, is now visibly divided, with many beginning to question the motivations behind her lawsuit. Meanwhile, Justin is demonstrating remarkable strategic foresight. He's methodically building his defense, gathering evidence, and ensuring every piece of documentation is in place to not only clear his name, but potentially turn the entire narrative against Blake. His decision to launch a dedicated website isn't just about transparency. It's a brilliant counter to Blake's media-first strategy. She chose to launch her accusations through the press, and now he's using the power of the internet to present his side of the story directly to the public. The question that's on everyone's mind is whether Blake should seriously consider finding a way to gracefully exit this situation before it spirals completely out of control. The financial stakes are staggering. A $400 million judgment could be catastrophic. And where is Ryan Reynolds in all of this? His wife's legal gambit could end up costing them more than their combined net worth. The implications are staggering to consider. Perhaps it's time for Blake to seriously consider a strategic retreat before this legal juggernaut completely decimates her career. A $400 million loss isn't just about the money. It's the kind of financial catastrophe that could permanently end her Hollywood career. Even with Ryan Reynolds' considerable wealth, a financial blow of this magnitude would be devastating. But the potential financial loss might actually be the least of her worries. In Hollywood, credibility and reputation are everything, and right now, both are hanging by a thread. While Hollywood certainly loves its scandals, it has little patience for those who cry wolf or manipulate the system. Currently, Justin appears to be holding all the cards, and Blake's position grows more precarious with each passing day. One thing is absolutely certain: this legal battle is far from over, and every new development seems to raise the stakes even higher. The entertainment industry and the public alike are watching with bated breath as this drama continues to unfold, wondering who will emerge victorious from this high-stakes legal showdown that could redefine how Hollywood handles such controversial cases in the future.